There's one city where a studio apartment costs more than most people's entire monthly salary. But it's not even the most surprising name on this list. From tiny island nations to sprawling megacities, these are the 10 most expensive cities to live in 2026. Number 10, Los Angeles. The City of Angels kicks off our list with average one-bedroom rent of $2,675 per month in the city center. But rent is just the beginning. A basic meal at a local restaurant runs $22. A monthly gym membership costs $55. And don't even think about public transit. Most Angelinos spend $350 to $500 per month on car payments, insurance, and gas. The total cost of living for a single person sits around $3,975 per month, without savings. Here's the thing most people don't realize about LA. It's not the rent that kills you. It's the hidden car dependency. Unlike most expensive cities on this list, you basically can't survive without a vehicle. And with California's state income tax reaching 13.3% at the top bracket, your take-home pay shrinks faster than anywhere else in the country. Number 9, Reykjavik. Iceland's capital might be small, just 140,000 people, but its costs are enormous. A one-bedroom apartment in the center runs $2,394 per month. A simple lunch will cost you $25 to $30. A beer at a bar? $12. Even a basic grocery run for one person costs around $450 per month. Why so expensive? Iceland imports almost everything. Surrounded by the North Atlantic, the country produces very little of its own food, and shipping costs get added to every single item on the shelf. One thing that might surprise you, despite these prices, Iceland has one of the highest standards of living in the world. Free healthcare, free education, and one of the lowest crime rates on the planet. You're paying for quality of life. The total monthly cost for a single person reaches $3,962 on an island with only 375,000 residents. Number 8, Tel Aviv. Israel's tech capital has seen costs skyrocket over the past decade. Average one-bedroom rent in the center is $2,116 per month, and it's climbed 40% since 2020. The culprit? A booming tech sector that's attracted thousands of high-salary workers, driving up demand for housing in a city with very limited space. Groceries are surprisingly expensive too, about $480 per month for one person. Import duties of 8 to 12% on most goods mean everyday items cost significantly more than in Europe or the US. What makes Tel Aviv unique on this list is the startup density. The city has more startups per capita than any other city in the world. That tech money flows directly into real estate prices. A monthly metro pass costs about $55, and dining out averages $18 to $25 per meal. Total cost of living, $3,546 per month. Number 7, Hong Kong. In one of the most densely populated places on Earth, space is the ultimate luxury. The average one-bedroom apartment in the center costs $2,226 per month. But here's the shocking part. That apartment is probably only 400 square feet. Hong Kong has been the world's least affordable housing market for over a decade, with the average home costing 16 times the median annual income. But there's a silver lining. Public transportation is world-class and incredibly cheap. A monthly octopus card runs just $55. And street food? You can eat a full meal for $5 to $8. The real story of Hong Kong isn't the rent. It's what you get for that rent. 400 square feet for $2,226. In most American cities, that same money gets you triple the space. The total cost of living comes to $3,305 per month. Lower than you'd expect, because everything except housing is surprisingly affordable. Number 6, London. The capital of the UK and one of the world's great financial centers, London has always been expensive, but 2026 has pushed it to new extremes. Average one-bedroom rent in Zone 1 is now $3,147 per month. And unlike most cities on this list, London hits you from every angle. A pint of beer costs $8. A monthly tube pass runs $190. Even a basic coffee is $5. The city's housing crisis shows no sign of slowing down. Demand from global investors, limited new construction, and a population pushing 9 million have created a perfect storm. Here's something most people don't factor in. London has no state income tax separate from the UK, but the council tax adds $150 to $250 per month depending on your borough. That's a cost that doesn't exist in most other cities. Total monthly cost for a single person, $4,613, making it the most expensive city in Europe to live in, and the 6th most expensive in the world. Before we get to the top 5, notice the shift. The bottom 5 are expensive because of what they lack: land, local food, housing supply. The top 5? They are expensive because of who they attract. Number 5, San Francisco. The beating heart of Silicon Valley, where tech money has reshaped the entire economy. Average one-bedroom rent in the city center is $3,351 per month. And that's actually down from its 2019 peak, thanks to remote work pulling some demand away. But everything else remains sky-high. A basic lunch downtown costs $20 to $28. Groceries run about $550 per month. And if you need childcare, prepare for $2,500 per month, the highest in the nation. The most fascinating thing about San Francisco's economy is the salary distortion. Entry-level software engineers earn $140,000, which sounds incredible until you realize $3,351 in rent alone eats $40,000 of that before taxes. Total monthly cost of living, $4,972. The Bay Area isn't just expensive, it's created an entirely different economic reality. Number 4, Singapore. This tiny city-state of just 6 million people has engineered itself into one of the wealthiest places on Earth, and one of the most expensive. A one-bedroom in the central business district averages $2,785 per month. But what truly sets Singapore apart is the cost of driving. To own a car, you first need a certificate of entitlement, essentially a license to buy a car, and in 2026, that certificate alone costs over $60,000. A Toyota Corolla that costs $25,000 in the US will cost you $110,000 in Singapore. That's not a typo. The genius of Singapore's system is that the car costs fund one of the world's best public transit networks. The MRT is clean, fast, air-conditioned, and costs about $55 per month. Most residents don't need a car at all. Monthly food costs are manageable at hawker centers, $4 to $6 per meal, but Western restaurants charge $25 to $40. Total cost of living, $3,947. Number 3, Geneva. Nestled on the shores of Lake Geneva with the Alps as a backdrop, this Swiss city is home to the United Nations, the Red Cross, and some of the highest prices on the planet. Average one-bedroom rent in the center, $2,920 per month. But in Geneva, it's not just the rent, it's everything. A cup of coffee costs $6. A basic lunch is $30 to $40. A haircut will run you $70. Monthly groceries for one person average $650, nearly double the European average. Why? Switzerland's sky-high wages create a price floor for everything. The minimum wage in Geneva is 24 Swiss francs per hour, about $28, the highest minimum wage in the world. Here's the paradox of Geneva. It's wildly expensive, but the salaries match. The average household income is over $100,000 per year. So while a coffee costs $6, the person buying it can afford it. The expat community, drawn by the UN, WHO, and major banks, drives relentless demand for housing. Total monthly cost, for $1,768. Number 2. Zurich. Just 170 miles from Geneva, Switzerland claims 2 of the top 3 spots on our list. Zurich's average one-bedroom rent in the center is $2,986 per month, slightly higher than Geneva. But what pushes Zurich to number 2 is the grocery bill. According to Numbeo, Zurich's grocery prices are 115% higher than New York City. A liter of milk costs $2.20. A loaf of bread is $3.80. A dozen eggs, $7.50. Zurich is the financial capital of Switzerland, home to UBS, Credit Suisse, and the Swiss Stock Exchange. The banking sector attracts high earners from around the world, and they're all competing for the same limited housing stock. What's remarkable about Zurich is the quality you get for those prices. The city consistently ranks number 1 in the world for quality of life. Clean air, zero crime, world-class healthcare, and trains that run to the second. Dining out is equally steep. A meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant costs $130 to $160. Total monthly cost of living for $1,917. At that price, Zurich is essentially New York pricing with European working hours and Swiss efficiency. And number 1, New York City. Was there ever any doubt? The city that never sleeps is also the city that never stops charging you. Average one-bedroom rent in Manhattan is now $4,478 per month, the highest of any city in the world. And that number rises to $5,200 or more in neighborhoods like the West Village, Soho, or the Upper East Side. New York's cost of living is driven by an unbeatable combination. 8.3 million residents packed into 302 square miles, millions of tourists year-round, and a job market that attracts the most ambitious people on the planet. The result? Competition for everything: apartments, restaurant tables, even grocery store shelf space. Here's the number that puts it all in perspective. To live comfortably in Manhattan as a single person, you need to earn at least $120,000 per year. And comfortably doesn't mean luxury. That's a studio apartment, cooking at home 5 nights a week, and taking the subway. A MetroCard monthly pass costs $132. A basic meal is $20 to $30. Even a simple coffee averages $5.50. Total monthly cost of living for a single person, $6,117, nearly $1,200 more than the number 2 city on our list. New York isn't just the most expensive city to live in. It's in a league of its own. From Los Angeles to New York, these 10 cities prove that the world's most desirable places come with the world's highest price tags. But as we've seen, expensive doesn't always mean unaffordable. It's about what you get for your money. Which of these cities surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to World Ranked and hit the bell so you never miss a new ranking. Like this video if any of these prices shocked you, and share it with someone who's thinking about moving to one of these cities. We'll see you in the next one.